It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi, everyone. This is the Forum on Eagle Television. Good to have you watching along. I'm Gary Shorman. The Forum is brought to you by Hayes Med. You know, it's always fun when you get a chance to interview cool local people, and we have one. This is really special because Hannah Norris is here, and Hannah is a Hayes High senior with one semester to go.
Yep.
And yet she has done some amazing things. She's cut her third album that she has out there. She has performed, as I asked her like how many times, she says, boy, it's hundreds, thousands, maybe is a million times yet.
Probably close.
Probably close, it seems like it anyway. But you'll see her around town in the area doing things like the Wild West Fest and just does an amazing job. So we wanted to get her on the program to talk about how she got started and maybe a little bit later on ask her to play something for us. So stay tuned for that. Hannah, how old were you when this got started? Were you just out of diapers and away you go with your guitar?
Actually, I was in 7th grade, so I was about 12. One of my friends actually came over to my house and she kind of knew like some basic guitar skills, so she just showed me like the 3 basic chords that you need to get started and showed me a couple songs and just kind of rolled from there.
Now, you've done several things. Obviously, you write your own music. You play your guitar, you do that, so the guitar is one part of it.
Yeah.
What about the other parts, like the writing the music to go with it, coming up with the lyrics? Where does that come from?
You know, I don't know. I've always kind of grown up like around like a writing environment, and my dad actually used to do a lot of writing, and he was actually a creative writing major, was the director of the library, so I always grew up around that kind of stuff. And so it's just a pretty like natural jump, I guess, from going to writing like poetry and short stories and things like that to writing song lyrics.
Well, you haven't had a lot of time to live, so where do you get your storylines for your lyrics?
Honestly, a lot of it comes from, I'm not a super exciting person, so a lot of it comes from conversations with friends or things that I hear happen to people, or, you know, sometimes, yes, it's about certain people and things like that, but I don't know, just kind of draw it from things around me.
Well, I had a chance to hear you in concert the other night, and you do a nice job for being in high school, connecting with the audience out there, because that's another part of it. So what part of schooling helped you get to this part?
Honestly, one part that I can say is probably DECA, which is a business and marketing class, because you really have to be able to think on your feet while you're presenting your project. So that kind of helps a lot with building skills of just being able to like talk to your audience and just being able to be comfortable being up in front of people. I think debate helps a lot with that too. Obviously English with writing. So those have been probably the main classes I think that have given me some
No music classes though? Didn't do marching band
Nope.
or anything like that? Just okay. Well,
no music classes ever.
you seem so natural out there when you're up doing the performing. You also have a band that plays with you.
Yeah.
Where'd you find band members? Say, hey,
Actually,
I'm in high school here.
yeah.
I want to start a band. Will you play along with me?
Well, I've worked with a lot of different people locally. We do have a lot of great musicians around town. But the 2 guys I work with, August Flieger, he is a Fort Hayes student right now. I think he's a sophomore. Yeah, sophomore at Fort Hayes. And he plays actually with the Celebration Church Band. And so my sister actually was the first one to meet him and be like, hey, you should contact him about working with you. And then Nathan Purdue is my bass player, and he was actually a student teacher at our school, which is how I first met him, but he also works out at Celebration. And so after Augie and I got started, we kind of brought Nathan in as just another person to work with, and they're both amazingly talented people, and they've really changed the way that I look at music, I guess, and the way that I look at writing things, because now I have more behind it. I've got more sound with it, so it's made a big difference.
What was the first song you wrote?
The first song I wrote was Kansas on my first album, which is called the Heartland EP. So.
And what was it about?
Well, Kansas. That one I can tell you was at a time when I had a lot of pent-up feelings about wanting to go out of state for college, which ironically enough I'm not. So yeah, that was just kind of dealing with some of that stuff.
So you have your first song, Kansas. You sort of progressed through. You're now on the 3rd album. How's your music changed?
Oh goodness, it's changed so much. Well, my influences have shifted a lot. At first it was my first 2 albums were just me without the band. Very singer-songwriter, very folksy, very much like kind of indie rock. And then this last one definitely took more of like a turn. I bought a Les Paul, so that really changed the way I do stuff. And also I just had a lot of different influences, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, kind of became a bigger part of my life at about the time I started writing that. So, yeah.
Is there one artist that you look up to say, boy, I want to be like that
Oh,
person?
God, Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin is the one, huh?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, it does because as you grow up, whether it be I'm in a different era than you, but you have those songs that mean something along the line. And so it's interesting to see the direction your music has taken to do
definitely.
that. Now, crowds, Wild West Fest, you've been down as part of Wild West Fest. What was that like, being in front of that size of group compared to maybe a group in a local, local place, local restaurant?
Oh yeah. I have actually played Wild West Fest twice. So the first time I did it just by myself was a little bit nerve-wracking, I'll admit. That was the largest crowd I've played in front of besides like the high school stuff. So it was definitely a different experience, like having that many people watching you, especially when it's just you up on stage with a guitar. But the second time, we had torrential downpouring rain while we were playing, so the crowds actually wasn't that bad, as you can imagine. So no, it went really well though. The people that came out and supported us are great.
That stood in the rain to watch, they're a good support, like
Very
mom and
much
dad.
appreciated it. My parents were there, yeah.
What do mom and dad think of all this?
They're just kind of along for the ride.
Do they come to all your concerts and sit in back and make sure you behave and all that stuff?
No. Some of them, I can't get into bars by myself yet, so my parents have to come to the bars with me, which is always really awkward. But
I wondered how that happened, because in many cases you are playing at, I'll say, a venue that is an older venue. Being in high school, you know, how do you sneak in? How do you get a chance to be able to do that? But yet I'm the performer here, so you have to get
sometimes. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't.
And when you do that, is there a lot of setup, that goes with that?
Usually, I try to be helping out with the as much help with the setup as I can. I'm not really great with the technology side of it, so I just usually let the guys run that because they have a lot more experience with it. So I just plug cables into stuff
and hope it works at the end. Yeah, when you talk about writing songs, that you usually have some that you just throw out. Do you ever feel that some of your songs could be hit songs? I mean, have potential to do that, whether you're performing them or somebody else performing them?
I don't know. There's definitely ones that I think are more crowd favorites than others, for sure. There's some that are a lot more connectable, relatable. However, hits, I don't know, I guess I don't really ever view them as being hits because they're such like a different style, I guess, than what you hear on the radio usually, that, I don't know, I don't ever really think of them getting to that level, so, but maybe someday.
Maybe someday they will.
Yeah.
When you do your publishing for your you don't do vinyl records anymore.
I wish.
But how do you distribute those? Do people buy them when you're out performing, or how do you get your music out to people?
Yeah, usually we sell them at shows. I do have a website, hannahnorris.bandcamp.com. The guys always tell me to make sure you say the website.
I said that here on my notes too, for some reason,
So we sell a lot digitally on there. Usually I ended up just selling them at school to people or to friends, or a lot of them go at shows or art walks. There's actually a record store in Lawrence that I have a good connection with, Love Garden out of Lawrence. So they stock some of my CDs and sell them out of there.
But it's hannahnorris.bandcamp.com, correct?
Yep.
Is a website for making that happen.
Yep.
I'm going to ask you to get your guitar out, because when you come back, a couple more questions, but I'd really like you just play maybe one of your favorite tunes that you can just sit down and sing for us. Will you do that? Hannah Norris is our guest here on the Forum program. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with some live music. Hang in there.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.
The most exciting yards in football. It's NFL Red Zone from NFL Network. Get every touchdown from every game, every Sunday afternoon. And football doesn't stop on NFL Network. It goes all week.
We're covering it like crazy.
Get NFL Red Zone from NFL Network today.
Add NFL Red Zone so you can watch all the game-defining yards in football. Call us at 877-61-EAGLE today.
Welcome back to the second half of our fun Forum program today, because we have live music coming up here in just a second. Hannah Norris is our guest, and she has one of her songs she's going to play for us. But before I go there, if you have any ideas, maybe suggestions, maybe special programs like this you'd like to see, send me a note at gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. I'd like to hear from you. You can also go online on Facebook. You'll find us under ECTV Forum. ECTV Forum. We're on Facebook. Send us a note. We'd like to get your guest on next. Hannah, it's been great having you talking about the different songs you write. Before we go, do songs come quickly to you, or is it just a process? Because I saw in my notes here, ending up with a song I genuinely love is so worth it, which means you put a lot of time into those songs.
It depends. There's some that come really quickly. I've actually already started writing for our next album. So those have come pretty quickly so far, but other ones, it's very much like a process, and you have to go back through and revise it several times. And there's been times where I've taken entire sections and put it to something else entirely, and yeah, it's definitely a process.
It's a little bit like artwork. You kind of paint some things. Sometimes it goes here and moves there and makes that happen. So
for sure.
Well, it is an art, and you do a great job with that. So what are you going to play for us?
The song I'm going to play is called 6-Shooter Pistol, and it's off of my second album, Red Winter.
All right. Let's have you play it here.
All right.
Stabbed in the alley by the church, all my blood spilled, running innocent. Didn't seem to know it hurt, but when it realized what had happened, and it started to come back in my veins, closed off and said, sorry kid, but I think this is the end. Promise me the world and take it back when it's too much, and show me love, but don't get upset when I don't realize that it's such, and keep me calm when I'm a mess, and tell me it's okay, because I'm always worried I won't see the next day. I'm a 6-shooter pistol, I'm the barrel of a gun. There's a lot of moving targets, I can only aim at one. I'm a 6-shooter pistol, I'm the barrel of a gun. Targets, I can only aim at one. On my 18th birthday, I will buy some cigarettes and I'll sit out on the front porch, smoke myself to death, and the ghosts, they will welcome me and call out my name, cause when I wake up the next time, won't be quite the same. I can only aim at one. I'm a 6-shooter pistol, I'm the barrel of a gun. There's a lot of moving targets, I can only aim at one. You look like you're so innocent, but you left me there to die, and I hope that I'm there when it's your turn to try. And I'm sorry that I loved you, and I'm sorry that you didn't, but now I think that it's my turn to be innocent. I'm a 6-shooter pistol, I'm the barrel of a gun. There's a lot of moving targets, I can only aim at one. I'm a 6-shooter pistol, I'm the barrel of a gun. There's a lot of moving targets, I can
Yay! How cool is that?
Well,
I know we had a crowd. I know they go wild, so I'm assuming people at home are doing just that. But Hannah, that's neat because a couple things I noticed. One, it's like that song's inside of you. And that's a cool thing where it comes from inside versus just reading music off it. Do you memorize everything you do?
Oh, yeah, I try to, but I'm really notoriously bad. If you ask my band, they'll agree with this, but I'm notoriously bad at remembering
So you
lyrics.
make up words at some point, make up
Usually,
sentences, things like that?
Yeah.
And do that. Now, the actual writing yourself, do you write the notes out so you know what to play, or do you just hear the notes?
Well, I can't read sheet music, so there's a different system for writing guitar music. It's just tabbing. Usually I write either that or I'll just write out what chords I use. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but yeah, it's kind of a different system that I use because I can't read sheet music, especially not for guitar. So, but it works.
What's next for Hannah Norris? Because you're going to graduate again, halfway through your senior year of high school, Hayes High. What's next?
Well, right now it's looking like I'm going to go to KU. So hopefully, if the guys won't come with me to Lawrence, I'm going to find some more people to work with there. But looking to record another album before I leave. And it'll be good.
And in Lawrence, you're going to major in?
Actually, creative writing with a pre-med, double major.
Just in case the music thing doesn't go,
Yep.
or will you do both? I mean, you could
Hopefully
be a singing
both.
doctor.
Yeah, that could be.
That could happen along the line. So somebody, if they want to find out more about you, you have a website.
Yep.
Hannah Norris at
.bandcamp.com. Yep.
And so they go there, and what do people find when they go there?
What it'll pop up with is I think the first thing it comes up is actually our album that we just put out. So it'll have that. You can purchase our albums. There's all of our discography on there. A little bit about the band. So that'll be mostly what you can find. Oh, we also have a Facebook page.
And where do you go on? Where's Facebook? Which one? Called
Hannah Norris and the band. So.
Hannah Norris and the band. So go there and check that out as well. And I'm guessing you have even a pretty good following because I've been involved with some people that are,
Pretty well.
Where's Hannah going to play next? Because it is fun to do. Do you have that sort of group with Facebook to say I'm going to be somewhere, then they all show up?
Yeah, we make, we've got a lot of, like I said, with as good of a music scene as we have around Hayes, everybody usually from different bands especially tries to come out and kind of support each other. So we have a lot of people from there. But we usually try to announce all of our shows on Facebook. My Instagram usually has it all on there. We do have it linked to our Bandcamp, so usually it should refresh with all the show dates on there too.
If there was, this is my random question on the show, if there was someplace you'd like to play, somewhere down the road, anywhere, where would it be that you would like to be on the stage and play?
Red Rocks, for sure.
Really? That's a fun place to be,
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
All right, well, good luck to you as you continue your career, Hannah. It seems
Thank
like
you.
you're just getting started as high school, and it does take a lot of work. Not only do you have to do your regular studies, but being able to put together music like this, I know takes a lot of work. So thanks for joining us today. We look forward to exciting things coming from you.
Well, thank you.
Hannah Norris has been our guest here. You can find her at hannahnorris.bandcamp.com, some of her music as well, and follow up there. And we'll also be able to put a link online for our Facebook page, and I know Brandon will have it listed on the video here of how to connect with her via her Facebook page and her website. Our guest has been Hannah Norris, a local performing artist, a senior at Hayes High. Our program is brought to you by Hayes Med and by Eagle Communications, our community connected.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications, our community connected.